Hello everyone, welcome back to the next tutorial of Full Stack Web Development series, and I hope all of you are doing well. So in previous tutorial we have discussed JSON very briefly, and then we discussed XML in detail. We discussed advantages and disadvantages of the XML, and finally made some remarks or came to know that why developers or web community is preferring JSON over XML. So in this tutorial what we are going to do, we will discuss JSON in more detail. So as we know that JSON is subset of JS, and it uses JavaScript syntax for organizing and structuring data. Its representation is so good that other languages also use JSON. Not only JavaScript, but there are some other languages which use JSON as a data format. It's extremely easy to use, and it's extremely easy to parse JSON and serialize it back to JSON. So all these things are very easy in JSON format. JSON looks like object of JS and array literals. It's very easy to confuse between JS and JSON. But JS is a programming language while JSON is a data format. I hope you know that many people also get confused between JS and Java because there is something called Java in this name. But these two are also different programming languages. Now get into more detail. JSON lets you represent three types of data. So what are these data? The first is simple values. Second is objects. And third one is arrays. So when we are talking about simple values, there could be numbers, string, boolean, and null. So like JavaScript, it's a string and it's a valid JSON string. If you write it like this, it's a valid JavaScript but invalid JSON. The difference is quite big because in JSON we use double quotes, while in JavaScript you can use either single quotes or double quotes. So there are some other strings, or I am writing various type of simple values. You can tell me whether these are valid JSON or invalid JSON. So like 10, true, null. You can see here this is a number, so it's a valid JSON. It's a boolean, it's a valid JSON, and it is null, so it is also valid JSON. Now come to the another part, objects. So objects in JSON looks like JavaScript's object literal notation. Example, you can denote a person like this, and you have seen it previously also, and it's a JavaScript object. Now let us try to make JSON object out of it. That should be like this. Please note that we are using double quotes here, and it's JSON object. So there is a huge difference between these two. So you can see here we have a variable name person, but in JSON object we don't have a variable name person, because JSON is a data format and it's not a programming language, so it doesn't have any variables. Alright. So second difference, you can see that property names are surrounded by double quotes, right? And double quotes are strings. And here you can see these are values. As we have described before, it could be either a string or it could be a number, boolean or null. Another difference, you can see that you are using semicolon at the end of JavaScript object, but there is no semicolon at the end of JSON object. One more thing you can see that's related to XML and JSON difference. So if you see the size of this object, it's only 74 bytes. But in XML you have seen that XML data was having size of 106 bytes. So there is significant difference, and it's approximately 70% of it, right? So like JSON objects can be either simple or complex. So you can add some more values here inside this and create a more complex object that we will see later. Now come to another part. We have discussed simple values objects. Now third one is arrays. Similar to arrays of JS in literal notation, we can also we can also create arrays in JSON. So let us see this, where v equal to, so this is JavaScript array. Now create array in JSON format, and this is JSON array. So arrays are not limited to only just simple values, but they can contain some complex values also, and that we'll see in coming lectures. So till now we have discussed the different types JSON can represent, and now moving forward we'll discuss about serializing and deserializing the JSON data. So it's extremely easy, and we need just one method or one statement to convert a JSON object into a string. So that method is part of JSON object, and method is called stringify. So how you are going to execute this? So here we are passing our object, and it will be converted into a string named JSON. So all unnecessary white spaces will be removed and payload will be optimized so that we can send it to the server or web. For deserialization, you need just one method, and that is parse. So how you are going to use that? We need to use JSON object dot parse and pass a string over here, and this will be converted back to JavaScript object. So now let us try to run some code and understand what we have studied till now. So I am creating a person. This is JavaScript object, and you can see this. Here is the object. You can execute multiple things here. You can find out the first name, last name, or age, or anything else if there is something inside object. Now our task is to stringify this JavaScript object. So what you can do, you can use this method json.stringify and pass person inside this and store the string into another variable json. Now you can see json is this. Try to execute as you have tried to find out name, first name in the person. Try same thing here. You can see it's undefined. Try to use double quote. So you can see you are not getting any value now, right? Because it's not an object now, it's a string. For that you can try to find out length of this, or maybe you can try to get index 0th of it, and so on, right? You can also try to find out last index, which is closing curly braces. So this is converted to string now. So this process is called serialization. Now we will perform deserialization, and how we are going to do that? We need to use JSON object and parse method for that, and we will pass string which is named JSON, and you can create another variable, maybe p2 or just p, and now this p is backed as an JavaScript object. You can execute all those statements as you are executing before. So just try to get first name here, and now you can see this, right? So I hope you are clear with the serialization and deserialization process in the JSON, and you might be seeing that it's very easy compared to XML, and also it's very lightweight if you compare it to XML, right? I think it's enough for this lecture. If you have any doubt or if you have any query, please write it in the comments. I will surely respond back. Thank you so much.